California for the longest time has been a state that people go to chase their dreams. It's always been that, right? And I came out here 6 years ago and immediately fell in love with the state. Fell in love with the coastline, with the beaches, with the girls, with the weather, with everything about this state. And lately there's been a ton of slander, a ton of bad talk about California, about how it's being run, about the status here and the state of things. What do you think is the biggest, having run the state at one point, what do you think is the biggest obstacle that we're up against as Californians right now?
Well, I think that the biggest obstacle is that we have a political kind of a situation where Democrats are basically running the state. And not that their policies are necessarily bad a lot of times, but I mean, what I mean is that there's no balance between Democrats and Republicans. When we get the most accomplished is if there's a good balance. And when people sit down and you meet in the middle and you get things done. Just like when I was governor, I worked with the Democrats as well as I worked with the Republicans. And we got things done. Not everything, but we got things done. Never mind.
He's fired.
You're lighting guys falling all over the place.
That's Dylan. He's our producer.
We are not going to say anything.
He had a late night.
He's doing the best. He's doing the best. So
he goes sup.
So this is the problem with in California.
Yeah.
So we don't have a two-party system, so to speak, where there's more of a balance, and it's in the leadership thing. You know, we have had. For 20 years or 30 years, the homeless problem, and it doesn't get solved. Then you have the problem of the taxes going up, and that's not being solved. Then you have a problem that we have, a spending problem, and that's not being solved. So and then we have an infrastructure problem where we don't have the electric lines, the power lines being buried in the ground. We have an infrastructure problem that we don't have, the water system fixed, that we have a water system where we don't have droughts every year. And just really go and build an infrastructure that collects the water and keeps the water so that we have enough water. So there's a lot of the high-speed rail thing has been lately in the news a lot, that the costs keep going up, and it's not. So there's a very complex issue.
There's a lot of problems.
But there's complex issues. They're not easy to solve. But I think they're just easier to solve when you have two parties come together and solve those problems together. So that's as simple as that. But as I said, I remember when I came to this state, it was the same thing. There was the major problems in America. There was in 1968 where the big demonstrations with the Democratic Convention in Chicago, and there was the Vietnam War. Then there was, afterwards there was Watergate, and there was all kinds of problems that we had in America. But I still said, this is the best place in the world. And so no matter how bad we do, it's still the best place. And remember that California, what happened up there?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now we gotta,
but I mean, I think,
foot, huh?
no, it's okay. I think that the key thing is that we know. You can look at California also in a positive way, and this is that it is the 5th largest economy in the world. So we're not only number 1 economically in America, by having the greatest GDP of $3.3 trillion or whatever, but we are the 5th largest economy in the world, right behind China, Germany, the United States itself, right? I mean, just think about that. So we are really unbelievable in Japan. So those are the 4 countries that are ahead of us. Everything else is behind us. So this is for a state really extraordinary. So yes, we have our problems, but it is a jewel.